I'm Christine Lisi. Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer expected to take the stand today in L.A. County Superior Court. This is the fourth and last day of a hearing that will determine if a temporary domestic violence restraining order against him will become permanent. In California, that can last up to 5 years. Bauer's attorneys told the judge presiding over the case he'll testify but only state his name and that he's a Major League Baseball player. The Yankees seek to run their winning streak to 7 when they take on the Twins tonight. New York's won 18 of its last 23 overall, now holds the first of 2 AL wildcards in a tight 3-way race that includes the Red Sox and A's. Yankees trail the AL East leading Rays by 5. This week's Women's Open at Carnoustie will be the most lucrative tournament in female golf. With the prize fund increase from $1.3 million to $5.8 million, the winner will earn $870,000.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky and scattered showers and thunderstorms will be the main themes of your Thursday afternoon. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the stronger end of the spectrum, but should still remain below severe limits. With that in mind, some very heavy rain, frequent thunder and lightning, and some gusty winds are going to be possible through a good majority of the afternoon. All of that said, temperatures really failed to warm up today. Highs only climbing into the lower 80s, dropping into the lower 70s as we head into the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel and Twitch. Just search 97.7 ESPN. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Who wants coffee? Anybody wants coffee?
Can you get me off the hook? Roll type say.
They're tired.
He ain't good looking, but he sure ain't shy. He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs, the SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Titan Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Testosterone high today.
Yeah, Tom's a man, he's got the plan, he's really got it made. What a wife he's got, she's smoking hot, check out the Junkyard Babe. When everything is said and done, no one can beat his show. He's a high-tech redneck, Tony Soprano. If you love sports without the fluff, he's got the master plan. 'Cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham, yeah.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
And good morning, everyone, and welcome to a Throwback Thursday in the Doghouse. I am your host, and man, how about Freddie Freeman? He struggled so much earlier in the year and just flat out hot as a pistol now, and for the second time in his career, Freddie has hit for the cycle.
Playing him to pull, and he sends a drive to center. He may have done it again, Ben. Back goes De La Cruz. He leaps. It's gone! Home run! Cycle time for Freeman. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! 7-2 Atlanta.
Yeah, 7-2 Atlanta. Cycle time for Freeman as well. And let me tell you something. The cycle is pretty much the equivalent of a no-hitter in baseball. Last night, Freddie's cycle was the 333rd in the history of the game. And for comparison's sake, there's been 313 no-hitters. I mean, that's pretty close when you think about it. 313 no-hitters, 333 cycles. Now, the most no-hitters by a single pitcher is 7 from Nolan Ryan. But the most cycles in a career is only 3. Now, back on June 30th, Trey Turner, who was then with the Nationals, had his 3rd career cycle. There is a total of 5 guys. That's it. A total of 5 guys that have ever had 3 cycles in their career. Bob Musial, who did it in the 20s with the Yankees. Adrian Beltre, who did it in 2008, 2012, and 2015. The last 2 with the Texas Rangers. Babe Herman, who did it in the 30s with the Dodgers and the Cubs. Trey Turner, who I just told you about, Trey Turner's done it in 2017, 2019, 2022, or 2021. If he did it in 2022, it'll be, with the Dodgers. I don't know. And John Riley. You remember John Riley. He did it with the Cincinnati Redlegs. Twice in 1883 and once in 1890. That's it, folks. That's it. 5 guys have had hit for the cycle 3 times, and Freddie has now hit for the cycle twice. So will he have a chance to do that again in his career? Possibly. The toughest one to get's always, the triple. Now, there's only been 23 perfect games in Major League Baseball history. 27 up, 27 down. But even more rare than a perfect game is a natural cycle. A single, double, triple, homer in order. A natural cycle. It has only happened 14 times in the history of baseball. The last one was in 2006 when Gary Matthews Jr. did it for the Rangers. This does not happen very often, folks. Didn't happen last night either, but I'm just saying. A natural cycle. So if you're looking for oddities, I got all kinds of cycle minutia. More importantly, the Braves win again. And the Phillies lose again, extending the Braves' lead to now 3.5. What a stunning turnaround. In just a matter of 3 weeks. Next, they go to Baltimore for 3 beginning on Friday night. Baltimore is a complete disaster. Baltimore's the worst team in baseball. It loses 14 straight games. A smooth 35 games out of first. Baltimore, if you need them. Can you imagine being a fan of the Baltimore, the tradition-rich Baltimore Orioles? Can you imagine that? And it's like, okay, when is this rebuild going to actually start? What a disaster they are. 35 games out of first place. That's crazy. Now, next week, it's a different story for the Braves. The Braves get 2 at home with the Yankees on Monday and Tuesday. Why am I not going to one of those games? 2 at home, Monday and Tuesday with the Yankees. And then, in a real oddity, they're off Wednesday and Thursday. Who the heck gets 2 days off? That's not the All-Star break. They'll be off Wednesday and Thursday. Then they get 3 games at home against the Giants and 3 games in L.A. with the Dodgers. 8 straight games against the 3 best teams in baseball right now. Honestly, 4-4 in that gauntlet? No, seriously. If they go 4-4 next week in that gauntlet, I think they're home free. By the way, one other baseball note. We played for you yesterday Jack Morris and his comment about Shohei Ohtani. Jack Morris, the great Detroit Tiger pitcher. And the comment that he made about Shohei Ohtani 2 nights ago in terms of how to handle Shohei.
Now what do you do with Shohei Ohtani?
Be very, very careful.
It's been suspended indefinitely. Thought I was making a big deal out of it yesterday, didn't you? You thought, oh, come on, that's nothing. He has been suspended from the Tigers broadcast indefinitely. Quote, Bally Sports Detroit is extremely disappointed with the remarks analyst Jack Morris made during last night's Tiger game. Jack has been suspended indefinitely from Tigers broadcasts and will be undergoing bias training to educate him on the impact of his comments and how he can be a positive influence in a diverse community. We have a zero-tolerance policy for bias or discrimination and deeply apologize for his insensitive remark, close quote. Now, was the comment insensitive? Yes. Was Jack Morris being biased or discriminatory? No. He was trying to be cute. He was being jocular. He thought he was being funny. Was it insensitive? Yeah, in this day and age, sure. Absolutely. There's no bias and there's no discrimination in that comment. As he said in the apology, he has great respect for Ohtani. He understands why he would pitch around him. So he missed last night's game when Ohtani hit his 40th home run of the season while pitching and moved to 8-1 on the mound. That's just nuts. I mean, someday he's got to give up the pitching, right? I mean, isn't that the way that'll go? At some point in time, he will give up the pitching. You got to have him in the lineup every day. You got to. Nice pitcher, great hitter. 8-1 on the mound, while Miguel Cabrera is still stuck on 499 home runs. Phone lines are open. Feel free to jump in. 256-576-4977. 256-576-4977. Text window is available as well. 732-9TA-SHOW. 732-982-7469. Many other ways to communicate with the show. Digital Doghouse at Thom Abraham Show on Twitter and Facebook. The Zone is on Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. You can watch the show there as well. The YouTube channel is 97.7 ESPN The Zone. If you're not sure about any of that stuff, all you got to do is go to the Twitch channel, and you see on there this very, very cool skin that Grizz has worked up. Not only do you have stuff crawling on the bottom, which is from yesterday's show, not only do you have that, but you... killing me, Grizz. Not only do you have that, but, you know, you have all the links to everything. So you can check all of that out. Let me tell you who's on today's show, just in case you're watching the crawl and you're seeing who was on yesterday's show. Let me tell you who's on today's show. Teresa Walker from the AP in Tennessee will join us as the Titans prepare for a trip to Tampa Bay on Saturday night. We'll also get her take on Tennessee Vol Camp. Kind of quiet. It's kind of quiet. Are they going to rebound? Are they going to come back to SEC prominence? Get her thoughts on that. At the top of the 11, Anthony Dasher is in from UGAsports.com as the Bulldogs prepare for the biggest game of the opening weekend against Clemson in Charlotte, North Carolina. Clemson is a 3.5-point favorite, but the injuries just keep piling up for Kirby Smart's crew. And we know that George Pickens is gone for the year, but now tight end Darnell Washington and defensive back Tyke Smith are out for at least the Clemson game. And where in the world is Eric Gilbert? The LSU Florida transfer continues to be out with personal issues. We hope we can get over that. Nobody is saying that he's dealing with mental health issues, but that's all of the conversation. He's dealing with personal issues related to mental health issues. It's no laughing matter. Hopefully he gets through that. But that's a big loss right now, especially losing the tight end, you know, and knowing that George Pickens is out. I'm going to run out of people. We'll talk to Anthony Dasher about all of that. Over there in the little glass room, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax, keeping us on the air, typing up a new bottom line as we speak. Oh, what's up? You got that fixed. You know what I'm talking about. It's Coach Chris.
Do you know who I am?
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and pollen.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
You don't ever say that to me. Bullcrap.
There won't be any misinformation. There won't be any false statements. There won't be any hearsay.
How come there ain't no Puerto Ricans on Star Trek?
You ask me those kind of questions, it really pisses me off.
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
You ask a question every week that I don't know anything about.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
You do what everybody else in the media does, just create some and throw it on the wall and see what sticks.
I ain't gonna be buried. I want a taxidermist to stuff me. Say hello to my new friend.
Hey, Grizzlicious. Precious, how you doing today, man? Your boy's 3.5 up now and just setting sail.
3.5 up, MV cycle out there hitting. I mean, it's just great, man. It's just, if you're a Braves fan right now, I don't know why you ever thought that we needed to give up on this franchise.
Because they were sucking for 100 games.
Steve probably did a few times, but I know Wes just said it was early. It was early in the season. We can't get crazy, but hey, they're on a roll right now,
Who
man.
said that? Wes said that?
Yeah, Wes was always like, "Oh, I don't know why you're always."
Yeah, Wes is a big.
Wes doesn't
fan.
care for baseball.
Wes
doesn't care
a big
for
Braves
baseball.
fan. He loves the Braves. I see every time I go over by his house, he's got his Braves hat on.
He's got his
He's
Braves
a
jersey on.
big Braves fan. He's always like, "Let's get this show over with so I can hear the Braves. I want to hear the Braves now." Big Braves.
No.
Are you surprised?
Yes.
That in the history of baseball, which is only 152 years,
right?
But are you surprised in the history of baseball that the most career cycles is only 3? Freddie's got 2 now, but that the most career cycles is only 3. Most recently, Trey Turner, earlier this year, Trey Turner had his 3rd on June 30th when he was with Washington. Adrian Beltre had his 3rd back in 2015. The other guys did it like back, 100 years ago or more.
Right.
But he's surprised that it's only 3 because that 333, there's more cycles than there are no-hitters. But we got guys that have 7 no-hitters, 4 no-hitters. I was surprised that only 3 is the career lead. That was a low number.
Seems like it with all the great hitters that you've seen over the history of baseball. But the only 2 Braves that have ever done it, I believe twice ever, are Freeman and Herman Long. And if you want to even count Herman Long as a Brave, being a part of the Boston Bean Eaters. But do you know the other 2 Atlanta Braves that have a cycle?
And you mean it had just one
yeah,
cycle?
Just one, yeah.
Did Hank ever do it? No? I would say, to me it would be somebody like Darrell Evans or Andrew Jones or Hank.
No, actually.
No on all 3 of those?
Mark Kotsay in 2008, and I remember that happening.
Yeah.
And then Albert Hall in 1987. All the other 5 instances were in 1910 or earlier.
Do you know that it's only happened twice in the history? Well, 3 times. 3 times in the history of the National League has there been 2 cycles in 1 year. And the 2 of the 3, one was Babe Herman back in 1931, and he's the guy that's had 3 altogether. But Aaron Hill had a pair for the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2012, and most recently, Christian Yelich. Yelich had 2 in 2018. He had them in 2018 2 weeks apart. He had one on August 29th and one on September 17th, almost 3 weeks apart. That was it, man. Christian Yelich. It's a thing. Hitting for the cycle is definitely a thing. It's not a small thing either. But I'll tell you what, Yankees finished off the Boston Red Sox, swept them as well, and the Red Sox now circling the drain a little bit. A lot of work to do there. But Grizz, man, Yankees at the Braves. Now back a month ago, Yankees at the Braves Monday and Tuesday of this upcoming week, and it seemed like, 2 teams that are fighting to be 500, like a nothing series. Now Yankees and Braves looks like, 2 of the best teams in baseball right now the way they've been playing.
Yeah, I think it's just after the trade deadline, it's just something sparked, something went crazy. Thanks, Steve. Live radio. No, we had someone call. Sorry, I apologize. But anyway, I mean, it's just insane.
No other phones. Apparently, no other phones in the building.
No other phones in the building.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. But anyway, so it's just great to see after the trade deadline to see what happened for the Braves. We all thought, woe is me with all the injuries and everything like that. But to play consistent that first half of the season, even though it didn't look great, really taking some series away from some teams. And then now really on this surge and being at where they're at, it just shows you being healthy late in the season is going to be the key, as always in baseball, as it always is, and a lot of other sports as well. That's the reason why the Falcons in 2016 made their run. They were one of the healthiest teams in the league at the time. So it's just if you're healthy, if you've got just hot hitting late in baseball, that's like hockey too. You get you get hot late in the season, and you want to ride that high. That's what the Yankees and the Braves are doing right now.
Is it not late enough though? Because you remember that year?
Yeah, we're 45 games left, right? So
yeah, remember when I would almost thinking more about like September. I would love to be riding like this September into the playoffs. Remember when the Colorado Rockies won their last 22 games or went like 22-1?
Yeah.
And then I think they ended up in a World Series or something. I mean, you want to be hot late. You wonder whether or not it's a little bit too early. But, hey, you got to get there first. You got to get in first place. You got to get into a playoff position. So, it's been exciting stuff. And these races are going to be really, really exciting. Unfortunately, to a certain extent, they take place right when we're getting ready for a football season to start.
Yeah. I'll still be watching listening to baseball while I watch whatever football game's on.
You know what I end up doing is I end up watching baseball during the week and football on the weekend, and I don't even pay attention to baseball games on the weekend. I don't even pay attention. I mean, my phone will go off over there, and I'll be watching it on that. But once September happens, the only time I'll watch baseball is on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Tuesday and Wednesday are baseball days. That's why isn't it weird that next week the Braves are off 2 days in a row? Who the hell gets 2 days off in a row?
Maybe take that Monday off, or that Monday travel day, or like sometimes there's a weird Friday travel day.
They're off.
I've never seen that.
They're off Thursday. They're off Wednesday and Thursday. They're off Wednesday, Thursday. Then they play the Giants 3 times and get on the plane and have no travel day between the Giants at home and the Dodgers in L.A. Who the hell came up with that plan? I mean, they got to play the Giants at home at noon on Sunday, and then they play the Dodgers in L.A. on Monday night. That's crazy. And yet they're going to have 2 days off in the middle of the week.
You would think that you would think that maybe these schedules are somewhat COVID friendly or something, or maybe that's the reason behind it. But the quick turnaround right there when you're on the road trip like that, I don't really understand some of those road trips though. But I can understand some of the ones where they go out west and of course they're on the West Coast or whatever, and they just go down the West Coast, like they play the A's and then the Giants or somebody. You know what I mean? I just don't understand these whole like East Coast West Coast like back to back series. It's just I think it's just crazy.
We'll have a lot of that. I would imagine that Braves-Dodgers series we'll be all over that.
Yeah.
We'll have a lot of that coming up as well. All right. I'll tell you what, let's get a break in here. When we come back, Teresa Walker is in from the AP in Tennessee, and we'll talk to her about not only the Titans, but also a little bit of Tennessee Vols, and maybe not. Maybe I was going to say maybe Vandy, but maybe not. We'll talk to her next, right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
Third-ranked middleweight Jared Cannonier and ninth-ranked middleweight Kelvin Gastelum will battle on the main card of UFC Fight Night Saturday in Las Vegas. Cannonier the -155 favorite, Gastelum +130. Two former UFC champions will battle in the boxing ring next month. Former middleweight champion Anderson Silva will face former lightweight champ Tito Ortiz at the Staples Center in Los Angeles September 11th. Silva, coming off a boxing win over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., the favorite -240, Ortiz +180. One NFL preseason game tonight, the Patriots and Eagles in Philadelphia. New England coming in a 1.5-point favorite, the over-under 38.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Sitting here with Ann Adams of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Rise Real Estate. Is it a good time to sell your home, Ann?
Yes, it is. We have people relocating from all over the country.
Why should we choose Rise Real Estate?
Well, we've been selling real estate in North Alabama for 36 years and have sold more real estate than any other real estate company, period.
Do you help your customers through the entire process?
Yes, our agents are with you during the whole process from start to finish, from beginning to end.
In your relocation services, you have a whole team.
Yes, we have a dedicated relocation department helping customers move seamlessly into the area.
Ann Adams has been writing contracts for the last 36 years. She has the experience to help you list and sell your home, downsize your home, or help pick the perfect spot north of Alabama for you to build a future.
Call Ann Adams at 256-337-2625 or on the web at www.bhhsriserealestate.com.
We love our pets, and when we need boarding or vet services, we want the best. That's why we chose Paradise Pet Resort and Spa. Everything our pets needed, all in one place. Boarding for both dogs and cats. Doggy daycare, grooming and spa services, web cameras, and top-notch vet care, too. It's a true Paradise Pet Resort for your furry friends, serving all of North Alabama. Find out everything you need to know and book services online at ParadisePetResortAndSpa.com. Located in Madison, just off 565 at Wall Triana, behind Cracker Barrel.
Hi, everybody. Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky and scattered showers and thunderstorms will be the main themes of your Thursday afternoon. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the stronger end of the spectrum, but should still remain below severe limits. With that in mind, some very heavy rain, frequent thunder and lightning, and some gusty winds are going to be possible through a good majority of the afternoon. All of that said, temperatures really failed to warm up today. Highs only climbing into the lower 80s, dropping into the lower 70s as we head into the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The following liner is courtesy of Frank Caliendo. Check out Frank online at frankcaliendo.com.
Tell you what, man, listen to Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings. Knock on wood if you're with me. I say his name right? Tyson?
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And welcome back. This segment of the show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. For all your mortgage needs, it's North Alabama Mortgage. Whether you're in Tennessee or Alabama or Florida, doesn't matter where you are, they can get you taken care of at North Alabama Mortgage. That'll take all the scary out of it. That's what that's what Brian Hammaker and his crew are going to do. They're going to take the scary out of that for you at North Alabama Mortgage and make sure that you get the best rates and the best deal that you can possibly get. All right, joining us now on a Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline from Nashville, Tennessee, bureau chief for everything sports-wise in Tennessee. It is the one and only Teresa Walker. T-Dub, welcome back. How are you?
I'm good, Tom. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. And, by the way, clear something up for us. I had made the comment earlier, I didn't understand why fans weren't allowed at Titans camp this summer, whereas so many other places the camps were open. It wasn't a COVID thing, though, right? And there was work going on down there at the facility. Is that basically what it was?
Exactly. I mean, this is a franchise that they moved into their current headquarters actually at the end of training camp, end of the preseason in '99. And, so anybody who's been in a building 25 years, you need a little freshening up. And while they've done things here and there, cafeteria, locker room, weight room, expanded onto the building, in December of 2019, they broke ground on a massive expansion of their franchise, Tom. They're nearly doubling that facility. And then at the end of this last season, they started working on the old building, the original building, to kind of update it, upgrade it. They've added a parking garage outside because anyone who's ever been there, they're kind of stuck up against what they call Amulet Lake.
Right.
So trying to maximize their space because, Amy Adams Strunk has hired a bunch of people since she took over in, I think, March 2015. And she's just been, she's been adding to the people and adding to the process. And you got to have a place for them to work. So, it's just a big construction zone. And during the off-season program, to get out there to watch the practices then, we had to walk along the far right edge, past the bubble alongside the lake to get inside to watch practices. So, it's just, we're able to walk through a different area now because construction has, progressed and, they got a paver patio or a paver walkway outside of the parking garage and stuff. But, that while the construction workers work inside.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been up there. It seems like forever ago doing shows for the entire camp right next to the entrance of the locker room. I mean, we had our tent set up right next to the locker room entrance so all the guys could conveniently stop by going out or going in. And I know that those days are long gone. But I do understand that the media center has now been moved to where the old owner's office was. Is that right? I mean, fully air-conditioned, overlooking the practice facilities, right center of field number 2. Or did I just make that up? Did they give you a new media center?
You just made that up.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, we don't know where we're going to be working. Now, there is I'm calling a porch. The door to the, they kind of built out a little bit there when they did their expansion. And so there's now a porch there so that we can be under cover from rain and thankfully sun this time of year. And they've got fans, so we can kind of work there. It's an open area. They kind of took over what used to be the old media workroom, the first one, and turned it into like their TV studio. So, when you're watching some of those Mike Keith shows, those are being shot in where we used to work. It's much nicer. So, we're kind of waiting to see. We're going to be in the new expansion part, and my bet, no one's told me this, is that they're going to put us as far away from the rest of the building as humanly possible.
Yeah, I got a feeling that's kind of the way it's going. That's the way it's been going in a lot of the stadiums. I mean, you're lucky you still have an excellent vantage point, at Nissan Stadium. I mean, I know you've been over to Atlanta and, the new stadium. It just seems like the press row, not that we're crying, but press row is getting further and further away from the field and further away from the midfield. I mean, in Atlanta, it's basically in the end zone now, and I think it's in a different county. I'm not even sure if it's in Fulton County. I think it's that far away from the field.
Well, and that's the thing. We know we're very lucky here in Nashville with the location we've got. I mean, we're just above the lower bowl, and and the reason that matters is it's not because we deserve great seating. It just makes it easier for us to see and do our job, which is tell stories for all the fans who can't be there on site.
Right, no doubt about it. Did they get everything torn down from the race? I mean, is the parking lot all back to normal and everything already, or are they leaving some of that stuff up? I know it's like a 3-year deal, I think, for the race downtown.
No, it's still up there. I mean, I was at they had their open practice Monday night at the stadium, and it was really weird driving across the Korean Veterans Boulevard bridge, and all the fencing and concrete dividers were still up, and there's still seating up right there off of Shelby Avenue Boulevard or whatever, closest to the stadium. And I drove under. I don't know if it's start-finish line or what. It's very, very interesting, and I'm curious to see how quickly they take things down because this team has the MLS team has had 2 games here in the last few days, and the Titans have their lone preseason game a week from Saturday, and then it's the season opener September 12th, and things will be, you would think everything should be back to them, and that's the thing. Do you leave that stuff up for the 3-year contract, or you just go ahead and take it and move it somewhere else? So I'm waiting to see what they do with all that.
I was watching the cars go through that area and leaving from in front of the stadium, and it reminded me of how it used to be trying to get out of there, when they had the bad stretch, when things were going bad there for a few years ago. That's how fast people would try to get out of there, the way those race cars were getting out of that parking lot.
Well, that's how I drive, so I'm just saying.
I am just saying is right. Teresa Walker with us here. All right. Were you surprised at all by how smoothly the Titans operated. I mean, this is a veteran deal. Even though he's got new coordinators, Mike Vrabel and so on, this is a veteran crew. It just seems so smooth the way they operated against the Falcons, and the Falcons just seemed like such a disaster in Arthur Smith's first go-round.
Well, this is what you get when you have mostly backups. I mean, the Titans didn't play even a single offensive starter. Now they had 3 guys who were starters last year on the field for defense, and I think there's 5 or maybe 7 guys that they're hoping could be starters this year. But, to me, it was a sign of just the quality of the team. I mean, the Titans made the move trading for Julio Jones because they see him as a guy who could be the piece that helps them get to a Super Bowl, right? And, you've got the Falcons, while they have good expectations, they got a first-year coach. And for me, the Titans have managed to raise the level of quality on this roster, Tom, that their backups are good enough to go out there and beat somebody else's backups and do it, pretty easily. So, now the Titans' offensive line, the backups did have issues, defending the backup quarterback, Logan Woodside. They got a lot of pressure on him. But, there were no delay of games. Todd Downing, the new offensive coordinator, seemed to operate pretty smoothly, which, in a way he should. He's been with this team for more than a couple of minutes. He'd been the tight end coach. So, and that position. They're working with the offensive coordinator on both the run game, the pass game, and protections and things like that. So, you would think that could be as seamless a transition as possible.
So they go to Tampa, meet up with Tom Brady and the Bucs, of course, the defending Super Bowl champs. Do you know what's the plan in terms of starters in this one?
Well, Bruce Arians has made it clear that Tom Brady won't be starting. Mike Vrabel has not given a hint yet. And today it's a rather chippy practice down there in Tampa Bay as I monitor all the tweets and everything. There's been at least 3, maybe 4, and Mike Vrabel had to get into one, after people were able to, were told to stop shooting videos. So, that heat and everything, that second day, people, the tempers and the manners seem to go out of the way. But I'm curious. I mean, here's the thing. A lot of their starters on offense aren't practicing today. Ben Jones is out. Nate Davis, their right guard, is out. Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, both out. So it's like, who is going to start and how long are they going to get in there? So, some coaches seem to be looking at that third game as when they're going to give their guys a lot of work, their starters, because then you've got a 2-week period before the openers. So I'm really curious, Tom, because let's remember this. The one thing coaches learned last year is the key seems to be get your guys healthy to the season, survive preseason. The guys who seem to benefit the most from preseason games are the young guys who are trying to make your roster and the rookies that you're trying to get up to speed so that they can be ready and available once the season starts. Let's face it, Julio Jones, he knows what he's doing. Derrick Henry has been available, but he hasn't, he probably had his biggest, most extensive work on, I think it was Sunday at practice, because, he's going into his 6th year, and anyone who's watched even one of his workout videos knows he knows what to do, and he's working hard to be in shape. So we may not learn. Mike Vrabel, I'm going to say this. We may not know until they go out on the field Saturday night who all is starting and who isn't.
And it just seems like everything has changed off of last year, right? Because, there was no preseason games, and it all came together fine during the season. It looked like NFL football. It didn't see, there were a few things you might have looked at, especially for younger guys, and said, well, if they had a preseason, maybe, you were seeing some of that rust getting knocked off, but it was more even about not having OTAs and mini camps and things like that. And so I just think that it's kind of completely changed the whole complexion of preseason. This may be the way. We may not see any big-time starters playing any preseason games, all August.
And that's the thing. They saw what could happen. And, remember, it wasn't too long ago that people were like, well, you've got to practice twice a day in training camp, right? Mm-hmm. And then the 2011 CBA did away with that and, cut back the days during training camp. And it's like, well, wait a minute, maybe we can do this. And now, I agree with you. Last year they saw, that the focus is on having your guys ready. And I'm very curious to see exactly who plays this preseason because, I know Carson Wentz is itching to get on a practice field, but, the Colts, they want him ready if possible for the season. And, preseason, I know we're watching it because it's been a long time since, football. But the fact of the matter is, being healthy, being available is the biggest quality in the NFL behind being really, really good. It doesn't matter how good you are if you're not available. And, I think I'm right there with you, Tom.
Yeah, it just seems like it's totally changed. All right, so do we know whether or not Tom Brady, when he uttered those famous words on the on the HBO special about, I can't believe they're sticking with that effing guy, and everybody's been trying to figure out which guy he was talking about. Is there any truth or possibility that was Ryan Tannehill? Because there was a talk at some point in time that, Brady, with his relationship with Vrabel, might be headed to Nashville. It wasn't that guy, was it?
No, Tom Brady told reporters yesterday that Ryan Tannehill is not the guy he was referring to. And you're right, because of the whole connection with Mike Vrabel, John Robinson, I mean, there's a lot of Patriot ties here. And, Brady wouldn't have been the first former Patriot that they brought in, right? So, there were a lot of national people drawing a very short line from Brady to Nashville. And yet, they ignoring the fact that the Titans had a guy that they already liked in Ryan Tannehill, and who, by the way, is about a decade younger. So, it's like, hello, you can plan for the short term and the long term in going with Tannehill. So it seems to be narrowing that list down to maybe Jimmy Garoppolo in San Francisco, but he's still not saying who he referred to. It's just not Ryan Tannehill.
I just don't understand why Garoppolo gets hammered so much. I don't know what it is. I don't understand. I mean, the guy's 24-8 as a starter. His biggest issue is that what you were talking about, availability. If he's healthy, he's been outstanding. Took a team to a Super Bowl, 99 quarterback rating in his career.
I was at that Super Bowl though, Tom, and they had a lead, could not hold on to it. Yes, it was against Patrick Mahomes, the comeback artist, but you got a lead. Maybe it was Kyle Shanahan as coach. You never can tell.
Yeah, maybe. All right. What about over in Knoxville? You keeping an eye on that deal over there? I know you got people over there, but that quarterback battle is something that everybody's just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker and Harrison Bailey and all of that. What do you know what's going on over there?
Well, here's the thing, and I'm going to go with the people who looking from the outside in. Josh Heupel isn't saying who, and that as soon as somebody separates himself, he'll come tell everybody who that is. But, the fact is they had Hendon Hooker in spring ball. They had Harrison Bailey, and they had Brian Maurer. And yet after spring ball, they still managed to convince Joe Milton to transfer from Michigan to Tennessee. So, you got to think that Milton is going to have a chance to win that job at some point. But, right now it doesn't seem like anyone has jumped to the lead. And, we're only, 2 weeks away from them kicking off the season, so they're going to have to tip their hands sooner or later.
Yeah, you would think, and they get that Thursday night game, 2 weeks from tonight. Doesn't feel like that Pitt game is going to set up the whole season? That Pitt game on September 11th, if they're able to win that game, then you can see a path to a bowl season, to a 6-6 type of year, possibly, maybe even 7-5, which would get everybody really excited. But if they drop that game to Pitt, then you sit there and you look at it and you say, yeah, they'll beat Tennessee Tech and Bowling Green, and they'll beat South Alabama, and they'll beat Vanderbilt. Okay, find me another win. It's kind of, it feels like to me everything revolves around that game on the 11th against Pitt.
Oh, it is going to be a big, big, big game. I mean, that's the thing. You've got for Vanderbilt and Tennessee is absolutely in the same boat as Vanderbilt now. Non-conference games become crucial, and you have this game in Knoxville. So, we think that they're going to be close to 100% capacity, or at least it's going to be allowed. So, at least as of now, stay tuned, though, because the numbers just keep rising here as they do everywhere else for COVID. But, you've got the home field advantage. That's a game you should win. Josh Heupel, the one thing, he's got receivers. The offensive line, they keep talking about how they actually have depth, that they can go 9-10 deep at a position that, Tennessee fans know only too well. It's been absolutely a nightmare for much of the last decade. So, there's some depth on offense. They're finding some guys on defense. They've for as many guys as they lost to the transfer portal and dismissals, they got some guys in. They stole, Texas's leading tackler for their defense. So, if they're going to have a hope, and, I think the schedule actually does set up better for them this year to have a chance at 6-6. But that Pitt game is going to be big. Bowling Green game they should win. I'm trying to think. They've got another. I just did their preview a few days ago. You'd think I could remember their schedule, but that's going to be the non-conference game that could really set them up for success or turn things ugly in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean, if they beat Pitt, they're 3-0, right? They come out of the gate 3-0, go to Florida. That's going to be difficult. But now all of a sudden, I think they're in the Missouri game at Missouri. You know what I mean? So I think they can be in the Missouri game at Missouri. They should beat South Carolina at home. Ole Miss is going to be very difficult at home. Going to Alabama, forget about it. The Kentucky game is going to be important, obviously, as well. The Georgia game, you put that one, chalk that one up in the loss column. Vandy could be for the 6th win, but you got to get that Pitt game, I think, first. You know what I mean? I think that's the key one, because if you don't get the Pitt win, now you've got to upset somebody, whether it's you're going to be an underdog against Florida, Ole Miss, Alabama, Kentucky, and Georgia. Probably going to be an underdog in all of those games. You got to upset somebody, and if you lose to Pitt.
Absolutely, and that's what makes it such a big game. They've kind of named it the Johnny Majors Classic. I think they've tabbed it because he coached Pitt to a national title in 1976. I think it was 76, and then he went to his alma mater at Tennessee. Never got it. Never got the championship at Tennessee. That was Philip Fulmer in '98. But he certainly rebuilt Tennessee into a SEC power during his tenure there.
All right. Is there any word? We saw that in Vegas. They have made it mandatory to have vaccination before you can get in the stadium, or at least a negative test within the last 3 days or something like that. Is there any word about anything like that right now for Nissan Stadium? I know that the governor is a staunch supporter of, we're not gonna kind of have any laws that say you have to be vaccinated. But what about for the stadium? Could that happen?
I have not heard or seen anything yet from the Titans. They may be waiting to get closer to the September 12th and honestly the preseason game next week to make those kind of pronouncements. But here's the one thing: businesses do have that opportunity to set their own standards for coming in, and the NFL, the Tennessee Titans, are a private business, so they can do what they want to regardless of what the governor is suggesting. So we're seeing that in a lot of places around the league, because guess what? Guess who gets sued? Not the state, not the governor. If somebody can say, I got it here, it'd be the Tennessee Titans in the NFL. So, at this point, Tom, stay tuned. We'll have to wait and see.
Good stuff, as always. Teresa Walker has been our guest. T-Dub, I appreciate you so much, man.
Sounds good. And sorry I couldn't be on with you in Japan. That time difference, man, just really kind of confused me.
That was something. Yeah.
It wasn't easy, I'll just say.
I didn't know that you had gone. I thought they had cut down on some of that, and I, obviously with no fans and everything else. I didn't even know that you were there. But
I made the cut.
How many is that for you now, Olympics?
That was number 6. So waiting to see if Beijing Winter Olympics, which are going to have a longer quarantine reportedly, if that ends up being number 7. So we'll wait and see.
I don't think we should go, but that's a whole other issue. All right. Appreciate you as always. Great stuff. Thanks.
Thanks, Tom.
All right. By the way, Mike Munchak, I'll play this when we come back. Mike Munchak, when he was the head coach at the Titans, was very frustrated at, the way practice was being limited by the new CBA at that time. It's even more limited now. But one of the classic lines of all time came from Mike Munchak back in the day when he was the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. I'll play that for you next right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The following liner is courtesy of Frank Caliendo. Check out Frank online at frankcaliendo.com.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors. I mean, Wes played at Alabama and he worked on the sled. I mean, it all comes down to the sled. I mean, I love the sled. Wes knows what I'm talking about. But as for Steve, I mean, Steve, he's one of those guys. The only sled he knows about was the one on Snowy Hill. Boom.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat and 3 meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. Drive-in, drive-through, carry-out, or curbside pickup with delivery coming soon through Grub South. Bubby's Diner, home of the Donut Burger.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Get Upside, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Get Upside app?
Yes, up to 25 cents a gallon. Cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Some months I make $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Get Upside app now.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code CAB for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon on your next fill-up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Get Upside app and use promo code CAB for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CAB.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner of University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. And a quick shout out to my son, Avery Seaton, number 19. Stop into University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including our all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and the sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in the Kia. Go Mustangs!
Sitting here with Mark Kent of Southern Fidelity Mortgage Group of Huntsville. Mark, do you help pre-qualify people?
We pre-qualify people all the time, Wes. As a matter of fact, I love having them coming in here because when they come in and they pre-qualify, they can leave my office knowing exactly how much they can buy and have no worries.
Mark, tell me about your rates and pricing.
Well, Wes, this is something we're really, really proud of. Long story short is, I love being able to provide the best pricing in town. Honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I lost a deal to either rate or pricing, something I'm very proud of.
So what all financing options do you have, Mark?
We do several different things. If you're purchasing a home, we can handle the purchase. If you're wanting to refinance your home, of course, rates are at the lowest they've been in the last 3 years. We do a lot of refinancing. If you're building a home, we can handle the entire process from breaking ground to the final close.
Do you sleep with your phone?
Wes, if you want to reach me, you can call me at my office phone, which is 256-562-1000. But always remember, I sleep with my cell phone at night. That number is 256-656-5936.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. I hope all of you are well. These are trying times we're experiencing right now, and I want you to know that we at Baumhauer's are committed more than ever to providing a legendary dining experience to everyone. Everyone is important to us, and everyone is welcome. Please allow us to serve you in a way that makes you feel safe, appreciated, welcome, and special. Because we're all special in the eyes of the ones and the one that counts. God bless.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky and scattered showers and thunderstorms will be the main themes of your Thursday afternoon. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the stronger end of the spectrum, but should still remain below severe limits. With that in mind, some very heavy rain, frequent thunder and lightning, and some gusty winds are going to be possible through a good majority of the afternoon. All of that said, temperatures really failed to warm up today. Highs only climbing into the lower 80s, dropping into the lower 70s as we head into the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of football anywhere.
See, now this is a football. I want you to carry this with you always. Never let it out of your sight.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Mike Munchak. The question was on the table as to, basically, they didn't have double sessions anymore. And he was asked about what it was like back in the day for him when they didn't, when he played. And if I can get this stupid thing that popped up in there we go. Get rid of that. This is what Munch had to say about camp back in the day. I promise you.
You get up at 7 o'clock, you're going to blow a horn, you're going to be in a dorm that has no air conditioning. You better go buy a fan. There's no cable, so no TV, don't worry about that stuff. Horn blows, you're on the field at 8:30. You don't have to ask what you're wearing full pads. The lift after practice, you have no choice. You get about a 2-hour nap, you come back at 3 o'clock, every day do the same thing again. You put full pads on, you go out there and practice, and that's 6 days a week. You do the same exact routine, and then on Sunday, you get the morning off to go to church, and you practice in the afternoon. So you get 13 practices a week in full pads. That's how it was when I came in the league. Now it's more just, there wasn't all these rules.
There wasn't all these rules. There wasn't all these rules. Yeah, that was the way it was. 13 practices a week. It's 7 days, 13 practices a week. There weren't days when you just wore shells. There weren't days where you didn't pad up. And there certainly weren't days when you didn't practice at all. Now, there's no double sessions anymore at any level. I mean, and really, we called them triple sessions back in the day. I was coaching in college and playing in high school. They were triple sessions because we'd have a running practice early in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And then we would have breakfast. Then we would have our first session. Then we would have lifting, film. Then we would have our second session. Then we would have film, and everybody would go to bed at 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock. That was in college. So, I didn't have all these rules.
Yep, we had 2 days at Grissom in the dead heat. It was awful. 40-40s in the morning and then work out in the afternoon.
Unsigned text. That's the stupidest, most idiotic thing I've ever heard of in my life. They suspended Jack Morris for that? I don't find it offensive at all. We'll be back. Anthony Dasher, Georgia, up next.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Maybe the air doesn't blow like it should, or it's needing new tires, or you're just ready for something newer. It's time to move up, time to trade up. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and it's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your current car or truck is worth more than you know. In fact, we'll buy your vehicle even if you don't trade. We have nearly 100 Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned models to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with a 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. It's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your vehicle is worth more right now at Woody Anderson Ford. Corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
Chad, cue the cheesy Italian music. So you're in charge of the dinner spot, and the family is a hard group to please. Dad wants award-winning 21-day age certified Angus beef. Mom craves authentic Italian food like great-grandma. Sissy pretty much won't eat anything but fresh seafood. And old life of the party, Uncle Walter, likes to enjoy a cigar after dinner with some live local entertainment and some killer cocktails. So you think you're in a pickle? Well, you're not. Relax. I'm Tom Chapman, chef at Nick's Ristorante at 10300 Bailey Cove Road, just south of Weatherly. We have all that and more. Our friendly and helpful staff is eager to help you Tuesday through Saturday, starting at 5. So, corral that crazy crew of yours and give us a call at 256-489-8280 or tell them to check us out at nicksristorante.com. I promise you, the gang will all think you're a culinary cruise director of awesomeness if you take them all to Nick's. See you soon. Ciao. Okay, Chad, kill that music.
Nick's is for patrons 19 or older.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Dodgers pitcher Trevor Bauer expected to take the stand today in L.A. County Superior Court. This is the fourth and last day of a hearing that will determine if a temporary domestic violence restraining order against him will become permanent. In California, that can last up to 5 years. Bauer's attorneys told the judge presiding over the case he'll testify but only state his name and that he's a Major League Baseball player. The Yankees seek to run their winning streak to 7 when they take on the Twins tonight. New York's won 18 of its last 23 overall, now holds the first of 2 AL wildcards in a tight 3-way race that includes the Red Sox and A's. Yankees trail the AL East leading Rays by 5. This week's Women's Open at Carnoustie will be the most lucrative tournament in female golf, with a prize fund increase from $1.3 million to $5.8 million. The winner will earn $870,000.
Football season is here.
Got a touchdown on a slant play. Rayleigh Cooper a catch. Oh my!
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Elle McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. This segment brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford. For all of your service needs, it's Woody Anderson Ford. Nobody does it better than Woody Anderson Ford. They've been doing it for years and years. And when you see that service department down there and you just see, the pride that they take in it, well, if they take that kind of pride in their own shop, what do you think they're going to do when they're, working on your vehicle? They're going to take great pride in that as well. Make an appointment today to have your vehicle serviced at Woody Anderson Ford. All right, joining us now to talk a little bit of Georgia Bulldog football. They got the biggest game of opening weekend. I know a lot of us are focused on Alabama and Miami. Alabama an 18.5-point favorite, but this Georgia-Clemson game it's one of the beautiful things about college football. You have a game like this, on September 4th, that could have playoff meaning. I mean, that's how critical each and every week is in college football. And joining us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline is Anthony Dasher from UGAsports.com. Anthony, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
I'm not being overly dramatic, right? I mean, maybe more so for Clemson, though, than I get the feeling that Georgia will have more opportunities to bounce back, even though it would put a lot of pressure on them. But Clemson really needs this one because the rest of their schedule really doesn't, get anybody too excited.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, and even, like you said, even if Georgia were to, drop this game, if you go by what the AP was saying there in the poll that came out the other day, Florida is the only other team would be on Georgia's remaining regular season schedule is even ranked right now. So if you take that as an indicator, Georgia, if they lose, would be all right. But yeah, this is a game though that Georgia, I think, they could set themselves up very nicely as far as the playoff goes. And Clemson. Clemson really is well, too. I mean, the way the playoffs have gone, all they've got to do is just go and win the ACC, and they seem like, they're going to get in. But no doubt, too, a very big game for both teams.
There's no doubt that it is a big game. And talk to me about the injuries, because now, obviously everybody, knew what was going on, with the big guy. But now all of a sudden you get Darnell Washington out. We knew George Pickens was out for the year. Now Darnell Washington is out. The DB Tyke Smith is out as well. How long are these going to last? We know they're out for opening day, but that pesky UAB team is right around the corner as well.
Yeah, well, Darnell and Tyke, we learned, both had a surgery to repair a metatarsal injury yesterday, and typically that's one of those injuries that keeps you out from 4 to 6 weeks. So, I know Coach Mark came out yesterday and said they're day to day, and the prognosis is great, which I'm sure it is. Everything we've been told, there's no way they're going to be able to, get back for this Clemson game, and probably won't be back until maybe, South Carolina week 3. But, two injuries that really, that hurt Georgia. I think there's no question, about that. I mean, you talk about Darnell, 6'7", 280-pound tight end, can run, can catch. It's really a matchup problem, but he's not going to be out there. And Tyke was a guy who was battling with Batavius Brini to be the starter at the star position. So, two guys they're going to definitely miss. And like you said, already without George Pickens, already without Don Blaylock. I've had some other receivers dinged up as well.
And then you look at Eric Gilbert. I mean, that could obviously that could solve a lot of issues in that receiving core. We don't really know what we're dealing with Eric Gilbert. Can you update us on that situation at all and what the thought process is?
Well, Coach Smart has said it's a personal issue, and from what we understand, I mean, just from our sources, it is an issue. I guess it requires some medication that he's got to kind of be away for a while. Ron Corson is working with him, and Arik was not at the scrimmage this past Saturday. Not sure where he's at right now, but I do know up until the scrimmage he was still at Georgia. He was still at the Bucksmere again, receiving treatment from the trainers, and we expect that. We do expect him back. Not sure when. Just kind of one thing to kind of have to wait and see. But right now, he's not a factor with the football team.
JT Daniels, his grip on this team, I was a little, I don't know what the right